Hi, I'm Kim.
I'm Brad.
We're 6260 Ohana, California, and today we're going to talk about our Merrytime Cruise, and we're going to review all the events and share tips to make the most of yours and things that we kind of wish we would have done differently.
Yeah, there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of interesting things going on, but there are some things that we wish they would have done better. So we'll let you know. Also to let you know, our cruise was a 4-day cruise out of San Diego on the Disney Wonder.
Okay, so first things first, the first thing we noticed was the sail away party was not themed.
Yeah, it was basically the normal sail away party.
Yeah, so it would have been nice to see the characters kind of in like winter holiday costumes.
Yeah, and just kind of a note on that, when you do board, there's no lights on in the atrium.
Okay, that's because the Mickey's tree lighting ceremony doesn't happen until the evening in the atrium.
Yeah, and that's actually a really cool event.
It is. Actually, I think it's kind of one of those highlights of the cruise, if you will.
Yeah, and there's a lot of caveats to this because it's gonna be packed.
Yeah, pretty much everybody goes at the same time. They only do it once, so it's not like early seating versus second seating, and they had to do it twice. I guess that'd be kind of weird to light twice, but there's so many people that we really recommend that you get there early to get your spot because it can be really hard to watch.
Yeah, and really if you're trying to find a place to watch it, either get there really early to get down on the floor or get up onto the balcony on the 4th floor, kind of opposite of the Christmas tree a little bit, and that might be your best bet. That area though, in between the elevators is shut off.
On deck 4.
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to watch it further because we made that mistake. We sat there and thought, oh, this is a perfect view.
And they shoot us away and said, no, this is where we do our lighting and coordinate everything.
Darn
wah,
it.
wah, wah.
Yeah, and if you're afraid of heights, the 5th deck.
It's not good. Brad and I were both kind of like, this is a little too hairy for us. So we definitely would recommend the 1st or 4th floor.
But let's get into the show. The show is...
Or I guess it's the 3rd and 4th floor, I guess, if you look at it in the decks.
So let's go into the show. Let's talk about what to expect for this.
So it's really the big first event of the cruise. There's lots of singing. It's festive. It goes really, to me, it goes from beautiful to like really festive. Like they have Mickey and Minnie and carolers and other costume characters. It's a beautiful. And then they take that one moment where they light up the tree. I got chills. Cool.
And all the different decorations around the atrium light up. I mean, it's just like an explosion of lights going boom, and it's like, this is cool.
But it's not like boom to me. It's like a subtle, but it's beautiful, and it like builds up. I guess that's the difference between you and me. Like it does turn on suddenly, but it's just kind of like this moment.
Yeah, and you get to look around. It's just really cool.
They also start pumping holiday scents into the atrium. Like if you've ever been on It's a Small World at Disneyland, they have that in there where they're pumping in the scents.
Or even the Christmas shop at Disney World.
Oh, ye old Christmas shop at Magic Kingdom. Yeah, it pumps in that same scent. And for Brad and I, my grandparents growing up used to have that like in candles. So that just takes me back to my childhood automatically. So I love it.
Okay, let's go on to our next event, which is Santa's Winter Wonderland Ball.
So this is late at night. It's like 10 o'clock at night. They have Mr. and Mrs. Claus and carolers and dancing, and it snows. But Brad and I were really talking about it. It's actually kind of forgettable.
Yeah, so forgettable. We almost forgot what day it happens on the cruise.
Yeah, like we had a hard time, like really, we had to look back at our footage and be like, really, was it big? No, like I think it was amped up more in our mind of what it was going to be. That was on the first night. So they had the Mickey's tree lighting ceremony early. And then like 2 hours later was the Santa's Winter Wonderland Ball.
I mean, it was fun. It's just not, I think after having the first tree lighting ceremony,
it just fell flat.
Yeah, and really we didn't have as many people at that as we did.
There was still a lot.
There was still a lot, yeah, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't quite as many as the lighting ceremony.
Right, because the younger kids are probably in bed and that doesn't really work for them so well.
So let's go on to our next event that they do, which is Story Time with Mrs. Claus.
Okay, this is really cute. I love how Mrs. Claus comes and interacts. All the kids are sitting around her in the atrium. Not many adults there. She sings Christmas carols, reads a Christmas story, and it's offered twice on a 4-day Christmas cruise, which is kind of nice because it keeps the crowds away. They serve hot chocolate and cookies, and it's just that kind of like nice warm Christmas feeling. Yeah, it was very festive and sweet.
And again, what Kim said, this is offered twice. So what's great about this is it's not as busy, and it just feels a lot
more intimate.
Yeah, and it
cozy.
It didn't feel like you're trying to get the elbow room for that.
No, not at all.
Everything. So that was a great event, and it was a memorable one for us. Okay, let's talk about another great benefit of this cruise is, you have Disney characters in holiday outfits.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of us love to get, our pictures with characters. They're in their Christmas sweaters, outfits, accessories. It's fun and adorable. We will say the lines get really long.
Yeah, we saw lines that are literally stretching all the way through the atrium back into towards the Walt Disney Theater for some, which is crazy long.
So we'll get to where we made a mistake here later. The second thing was they have a Princess Gathering that's usually offered every cruise. It's a pre-ticketed event, so you have to sign up on your on your app before the cruise. So when that opens, I think it's like 30 days in advance. You rush on and try to get it. And we were able to snag one.
And that's something to be very aware of, is that you need to have that out, because we actually had people trying to get in line going, oh no, sorry, it's a ticketed event. We can't put you in there, and it's unfortunate because we saw some kids that were really disappointed.
Yeah.
So all the princesses are there, which is great, and some of them have a little bit of Christmas spirit.
So Belle has a beautiful Christmas gown. We'll put some pictures in here right now so you can see what we're talking about. So that's a little different than every other cruise throughout the year. So if you wanted your princess pictures with holiday flair, this is a good time.
Okay, let's go to our next one, which is the themed holiday events and arts and crafts.
So they still did like door hanger coloring arts and crafts and stuff, and they were themed, some of them for Christmas. They had like a Christmas trivia. There wasn't a whole lot. I think I was most disappointed they had the Anyone Can Cook series where one of the chefs comes out and does a demonstration. They did the same lobster ravioli and apple strudel they've done when we did our Alaskan cruise earlier this year. So that was really, like, apple strudel, I guess you could kind of say is a little holiday-ish, but I would have liked to seen them change up that dish just for this cruise.
Yeah, that would have been great to have.
So they even used to have a gingerbread decorating, like a house originally, and then it went to cookies. Now, unfortunately, they're not offering it this year, which I was really disappointed in.
So talking on gingerbread, let's talk about the Gingerbread House.
So I was blown away. I was amazed.
Yeah, and actually, I was really surprised that it's Gingerbread House on a moving boat. Kind of, you think those things would be a little bit more fragile, but...
And this is real baked items, so they put the recipe and how much they use of flour and gingerbread, just like they do the Disney resorts at Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Yeah, and there's a lot of details into this Gingerbread House. I almost say more than what we saw at this year at the Grand Californian.
Oh yeah, they have like automated details like the Christmas fires crackling and other things like that. I don't want to run all that fun for you because you should go.
I'm going to be showing it to you right now, but it's still awesome to look at, and seeing it in person is so much different than what you'd see on the camera.
Yes, so I thought they did a phenomenal job.
Okay, so another great thing about this cruise is there's Christmas movies on tunnel vision and also on demand in your room.
I love this because I have this thing in our family where I try to watch as many Christmas movies as I can every year, so this kind of helped.
Yeah, considering that we took a 4-day cruise and it kind of bit into her Christmas movie binge. So it made it a little bit easier when we get home to watch more of them. But I thought it was really neat. It was a great idea. And there were a lot of people watching on Fundavision. I was really surprised, especially for the colder weather.
But, it's kind of nice. It's festive and I don't know, it just kind of brings out that mood of everything.
Okay, let's go to the next thing, which is, of course, you're on a cruise and Disney cruise, what they want to sell you? A ton of merch.
Okay, so I will have to say the first thing I was looking for, of course, is my Merrytime Cruise pin. And I love how the little pendant down, my little pendant down here says Disney Wonder. So that is kind of cool because it's specific to the ship, not just necessarily the fleet.
Let's talk about something else Kim got, which is?
The door magnets. They had Christmas themed door magnets. So I got some. They all came on a sheet. Just kind of show you a few of these.
Yeah, there's really a lot
there was
on that sheet, and we were
And they were pretty popular.
Yeah, and really, if you've never been on a Disney cruise before, is a lot of people decorate their doors with different magnets. And so if you did forget them, at least they were there.
You had something.
Yeah.
I mean, they have generic Disney Wonder ones as well, but I love that they actually had themed holiday magnets. So I was all in for that.
But there is some negatives to this merch, and we'll get into it here in a little bit.
So one of the things I'll say is I was a little disappointed with, they had a like Disney Merrytime Cruise shirts, but they came in white. I hate white shirts because they're dirty, they stain. It just, I don't know.
You're asking for trouble with white shirts.
And then they had the really cute Disney jerseys that came out that were the greens ones, but they came in the Disneyland Resort and Disney World. So I kind of wish they had one that was just themed towards the Merrytime Cruise.
Yeah, there were all the difference is the back saying Disneyland, Disney World, and Disney Cruise Line.
So yeah, I wish they had a special Disney Cruise Line jersey. That I know they don't for the two parks, but hey, I'm on a Merrytime Cruise and you pay a lot different. I just think that would have been like a really nice touch. Mm-hmm. One of the problems with that is we realized they don't restock on all the cruises.
Yeah, so there was a very limited amount. There wasn't a huge amount like what we've seen with Alaska cruises before with the amount of merchandise available. It seemed like a very limited amount considering what it is, and a lot of it was the same stuff as in the parks. And another negative thing is if they run out of something, they're out.
Yeah, so if you had a certain size and they only had one or two, like that's for a couple thousand people, so it's really not enough shirts and merch for all that amount of people if everybody were to buy one.
Yeah, so if you're wanting to get something, make sure you get in the beginning of the cruise. Don't try to rush and trample over people for the sizes. A lot of times the stuff will still be there, but if you're waiting and thinking, I might get it, I might not, if you get towards the end of the cruise, it could be gone.
So I'm going to tell you a story though, because it was really bad. We did a DVC member cruise and everybody like literally stormed the store when it opened, and Brad went up to grab a t-shirt he liked.
I actually grabbed it.
And had it in his hand, pulled it back, and some lady came out and actually snapped it out of his hands. So you don't have to go to that level.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not too bad. It's a Merrytime cruise. You're supposed to be happy. It's Christmas.
Right? Goodwill to one another. Okay,
so there is another event that we need to talk about, which is Till We Meet Again. Well, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. We want a whole bunch of events? Nothing to events. We'll get into that in a little bit. But the Till We Meet Again is basically Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, Belle in her winter princess dress, yeah. And you got all the characters really. So the great thing about this is they do spread out between decks 3 and 4, and so you can kind of rove around and get pictures with them. People lines, but sometimes there was nobody getting pictures with some of the characters. So if you missed your chance to get pictures with some of the characters, this is a great opportunity to do so.
But once again, I would go early because it was crowded. Like we got there a little early and we got the 5th deck and could barely see, and I wish we would have got there like another 10-15 minutes earlier.
Yeah, and the thing is with this is that people are going to be roaming around, so you could get there early and think you have a spot, and then especially down on 3rd deck where everything is going on, the characters are going to be spread out getting pictures there. Once they're done doing pictures, then you're going to come back and try to sit down. Where we were at on the 5th deck and actually on the 4th deck, a lot of those people did not give up the railing space. They didn't go out. They just wanted to stay there so they could see the show and not miss out, I guess.
Because there's like a 15-minute intermission, if you will, between the start of the show and the finale.
Yeah, and the thing is with this one is everybody wants to go see it. So again, it's only one showing. This is it. You have to go see it if you want to see it, and it is
crowded.
Yep. So let's get into some of the things that we did see on the cruise that I guess would be considered just Christmas themed that we didn't talk about.
Okay, so one of the biggest things to me is they played Christmas music overhead. Sometimes a little bit more themed like Feliz Navidad because we were on a Mexican Riviera cruise.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Gave you a little bit of that authenticity
Tropic.
where you're going.
Yeah.
And it was great just to hear the Christmas music throughout the ship. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Other things we saw, there were trees around the ship and different spots that you just got that Christmas feeling. Even in the dining room areas, there's different Christmas wreaths and things hanging up, which was great.
It was. I really loved that Triton's was under the sea themed wreaths and things like that. Tiana's had some New Orleans jazz wreaths, so that was fun.
Yeah. Let's get into what we wish they would have done better, or also what we would like to see.
So to me, the first thing was, this was a 4-night cruise. They did the pirate night, which they probably do other cruises too. But on pirate night, the characters were out and themed in pirate costumes, which I guess I get, but I wish they would have left like one atrium of still holiday characters and like one level, like level 5 is your holiday, level 4 will be your pirate when they're switching out the characters.
Especially on a shorter cruise like this, is you only get so many shots of getting those photos with characters in their Christmas gear, and the lines are hard and long to get into, and you just don't get that opportunity.
So we kept thinking, okay, they're going to be in their holiday attire the whole cruise. We'll just wait until the lines die down and all that. Well, we missed out on all like Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, all them in their holiday outfits. And so I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I wish in the app they would, and even just general cruise days, like if you did an Alaskan cruise or if you did Pirates Day or whatever, I wish they'd say on the navigator which outfit the character was in so you could plan that out better. Yeah, that's just an overall observation.
They just say Donald Duck at deck 4 atrium.
Yeah, or I'd rather see Donald Duck in Christmas gear and the next day Donald Duck in pirate gear and the last day Donald Duck in cruise gear. So that would have made it better because we really missed out on that one.
Is Donald Duck always in cruise gear? Just a thought. Let's go into another issue that we saw. Is really, and this is kind of weird for us because when we did our Alaskan cruise, we had items that were on the menu that was specifically geared towards Alaska.
So it was regionally, it was like regional items, and they'd have one or two, whether it was a dessert or I guess both desserts and
even seafood.
Yeah,
and stuff
entrees
like that.
And things like that. Brad and I would have liked to seen maritime or holiday themed foods on the menu during these cruises. I know it takes a little extra time. These are like 8 weeks of cruises only, but let's be honest, a lot of us like this stuff in the parks too. When we go to Disney World, Disneyland, etc., they always put out a big menu of what's different and different snacks.
Special churros, special desserts, all this different stuff. There was only one exception to this, which was at the Cove Cafe, which is an adult-only area. And they did have a special menu. I think they had 2 drinks on the menu.
3 coffee drinks. And we have a picture, so we'll put that. We have a picture, so we'll put it in here.
The only problem we had was when we got on the cruise, they were out.
So it was like day 2 or 3, and I wanted to get their last one that had like a marshmallow flavoring in it, and they were out, so they couldn't make it. So it's kind of like, oh, you have 3 things that we could get on the cruise, and you're out of one. And they're like, oh, it's basically because we couldn't get the supplies and restock, and I understand they have bigger issues with that from San Diego than they do out of Port Canaveral, Miami.
And this is what we're talking about with the stores, is that what we've learned is that if it's not a Disney port, their actual ports they don't have, is they're dependent on that company to bring all their stock into them, and they don't always get it.
So this cruise, we did go concierge. I will tell you, they even ran out of like Coke Zero in the cans like day 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
So if you're going out of a port that actually has a Disney building and supply line and everything there, you're probably going to have more of this stuff. Unfortunately, coming out of San Diego, they just didn't have that. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about another thing they didn't have a differences, which is Pirate Night.
Okay, so I don't know how you could really do a Christmas. I guess maybe instead of Pirates Night, maybe do a, oh, I can never say this well, Meli Kalikimaka.
You know that Meli Maka place to be.
Yeah, so I would love, instead of a Pirates Night, is to do a themed night. They do it in the parks, themed, you know, red, white, green fireworks, some kind of holiday show. Change it up for this. It would just take this cruise that much higher.
Even the sail away party, I wish they would have done something just feel a little more Christmassy. I just add a couple of small things in, it would have been great.
Right, or add in a few fun songs at the end that were for the DJ to play at the sail away party would have been fun. Like someone that like silly fun tune you could sing.
Another thing to be aware of with these cruises is if you're doing a 3 or 4 day cruise. And the reason we're saying this again, like we said with the characters, trying to get all this stuff fit in a 3 day cruise, you just lost a day, so you're going to be condensing everything more into this, which is going to make it very hectic.
Well, the one thing I would notice too, though, is this cruise is really the events and how many they have. It is kind of tailored towards a 3 day cruise because like the day 3, there was like nothing themed. It was just kind of like pirates, that's it. It didn't really fit into a maritime cruise. Yeah. So I really feel like that's a lost thing that Disney should look at, adding in something for those that are going longer, because you are paying for a longer amount of time on the ship. So add in, that's where they could have done something like an extra anyone could cook series, or extra little, an extra arts or crafts or something.
Yeah, which would have been great to have. So let's talk about other things that you may want to bring with you for this cruise, because guess what? A lot of people didn't, or this is a lot of people's first Disney cruise, and if this is yours, there's things that people do that have been on several cruises that you can do. So one, we showed you the magnets. Well, people decorate their doors, including us this time, because our first cruise, we didn't know about it. The second cruise and third cruise now.
So we'll show you our door. So I brought lights with a battery pack, themed magnets, and I went all out. I really loved it.
The thing to know about this is they have to be magnets. They don't want tape on the doors for obvious reasons, trying to clean them off and everything. So
if you take a closer look, you'll see how we hung the Christmas lights with the little hooks.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people did decorate their doors, and so
I love looking at other people's doors. To me, that's almost like driving around and looking at Christmas lights. Like, I loved walking around looking at everybody's doors.
And on this cruise, more than most is we had a lot of people in Christmas PJs walking around the ship.
Yes, so Christmas t-shirts, Christmas PJs. I think even in the Facebook group that was for this cruise, organized like a pajama breakfast the last day in their Christmas pajamas. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if you're in that Christmas spirit, why not wear it?
Exactly. So wait a minute. That's a lot coming from you. He refuses.
I have my Chip and Dale shirt.
You didn't wear it.
No.
So see, you can't even say that. He didn't even wear his one thing he brought for Christmas.
I was going to wear it truthfully, but it turned into a whole different thing.
Okay, I didn't hear that one. Christmas ears, themed ears are kind of a thing too.
Okay, and so another thing that we wish they would have done, and it's very apparent on board, is I wish they would have had more diverse of the holidays. And what I'm talking about is having a little bit more about Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. It's very Christmas centered towards that cruise.
So I get it, because it does say in Merrytime Cruise it's got Christmas trees, things like that. I'm surprised because the Disney parks have a lot of diversity in that way, but they don't on the Disney Cruise, or at least they didn't on the Wonder.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity to teach people about other cultures and customs of what they do, which we love having that, just that mix in that for learning.
And it would have been actually kind of a cool event to have like a holidays traditions around the world, and like had characters or Mrs. Claus and Santa or somebody of some representation talk about holidays around the world, kind of like what they do at Epcot with the holidays around the world at the World Showcase kind of thing on the cruise. That would actually be kind of perfect.
Although, give Miss Claus credit, she did ask people what they celebrate, and talked about a very little bit, but it was there. So overall, what did we think of the Merrytime Cruise?
I would love to turn this into a tradition with us, and next time bring our son with us. He had school and didn't want to miss. He had a big test, so it wasn't possible.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I did not find it more out of the ordinary than a regular cruise for some parts.
Fair.
So I don't know, if you're really looking forward to it, yeah, definitely go to it, have fun. If you want the regular cruise stuff, you're still there.
It was. I am really glad we did it. Like I said, especially like the Mickey's tree lighting ceremony, the carols around the ship, and the decorations. I just kind of felt like it was a great way for us to kick off our holiday season.
So, have you been on a Merrytime Cruise before? Where to? What did you think of the Merrytime Cruise? Please let us know down in the comments below. So, if you find this video helpful,
please like,
subscribe,
and follow along with our Ohana.
So with that, I think it's time for us to say goodbye and
Happy holidays. Bye, everyone.